Hello there. What's up, everybody? It's me, Chris Herman, here for another episode of On Deck. Today we have episode number 50. That's right, 50. Now, originally this year I was going to shoot for 52 episodes, one per week, but we are putting out number 50 here in the middle of October, so we are ahead of schedule. And today on episode 50, I have my good friend and right-hand man, Mr. Brad Granda, coming back for episode number 2, or his second time on the show. And why is it special? Because it's episode number 50, and you're talking and listening to a couple of 50-year-old dudes talking about life. We had a great time, enjoyed it. I hope you enjoy it too. So without further ado, here we go. Episode number 50 of On Deck, and it is Mr. One and Only Mr. Grep. Oh, yeah, did you hear me say that? Mr. Brad Granda. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Enjoy. And there we go. We begin, sir.
Well, there's no intro?
We're going to get there.
Oh, the intro is the outro?
Yeah, the intro is the outro. There is an intro, but yeah, I mean, for formality. Hi, Brad.
Hello there.
Welcome.
Second time.
You are on deck.
I was actually invited back.
Second time, yes, you are on deck. And how appropriate.
I know where you're going.
That it turned out that after all the schedule wrangling and trying to make it all happen, that here we are together doing episode 50.
50.
Right. Can you believe that?
And for those listening,
yes,
and watching, right, the significance of that
is what is that?
On May 23rd,
yes,
I turned 50 this year.
And on September 24th, I turned 50. So we are now both officially 50.
Here's to 50 and 50 and 50.
Yep, 50. Episode 50. So we're going to have a drink to that.
Wow. Yeah, 50.
What are you drinking?
I've got that special edition Grand Marnier that my buddy Peter turned me on to. I got to tell Sam about it. Sam will like it. Slipped it right in there, Sam.
Slipped it right in, right out of the gate. You can stop watching now, buddy. I am having, I've got a little Four Roses. I think it's Four Roses.
Four Roses.
Yeah, Four Roses bourbon. Jeffrey Carter brought this for my 50th birthday.
Good stuff.
So we're drinking birthday beverages, not necessarily celebrating our birthday, but hitting episode 50 both at the age of 50. So I might as well just lead into the hard-hitting question right off the bat.
Jeez.
Brad.
Seriously? You make me start sweating already.
Yeah, I know.
Don't make me start cursing early, though. No. I got in trouble by my mother and my brother.
Oh, really?
My brother, who curses like a sailor, he's like, you cursed a lot in that first one you did. I'm like, you're telling me that? You curse in church. I mean, it's...
My mom had something similar to say when we first got rolling with this. She's like, is all the cursing, is that necessary? Do you think that might not go over well with your viewers?
The viewership?
I said, no, it's real. It is what it is.
Yeah, for my brother to say that was a stretch.
So he's, he edges you out in that category?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I mean, like night and day. Like I'm a saint compared to the vocabulary that comes out of his mouth.
Well, then that leads me to a different question.
Hold on, no, we got to go with a hard-hitting question.
No. You just threw up a nice little smokescreen diversion for yourself. Okay, nice job. So, if I mean, because you've been known to throw the occasional F-bomb around,
here and there,
occasionally here and there, and you're saying that your brother has you beat. So.
Long.
Did your dad have you all beat? Like, did this come from dad, or this is a your generation thing?
It's probably an our generation thing. My dad wasn't a huge curse. Did he curse? Sure he did. I mean, my dad was in construction for 35 years in Miami. So, yeah, there was a lot of cursing that came from him, but it didn't generally translate back at home. Like, my brother can be having a conversation with his wife, and it's a pleasant conversation that they're having, and he'll drop 16 F-bombs in 3 sentences. And they'll be talking about something fun, and, there's no fighting or anything going on. But
right.
yeah, it is night and day between me and him.
Interesting. So I remember when I was, young and growing up with my mom, I remember, starting to hear my mom, throw some cursing around a little bit, and getting kind of used to it occasionally happen. And then when I started sort of dabbling in it myself, when you get to that point where your parents kind of start to let it slide, at least when I think back to my childhood, when I remember, like, when I could start saying, shit or fuck, whatever. When you could start saying it without being worried that your parents were going to kind of give you a look. That felt like, I've sort of made it into another level here.
Well, it's funny because, I go to Jake's tennis clinic on Monday and Wednesday. Mm-hmm. And it's kids he's the youngest one there. So he's 12. He's the youngest one there. And there's 13, 14, 15-year-old kids there. And there's this one kid, you could just tell. He's got a mouth on him, right? But, I'm on the other court, and I hear him drop 2 F-bombs. And I'm like I want to say something because there's 12, 13 other kids that are there.
Right.
And none of them talk like this one kid.
Right.
They don't act up like he does. And Jake and I talked about it on the way home, and I'm like, man, that kid's got a mouth on him. He's on because he can't be but 13 years old, and he's dropping F-bombs out in public like that. And I'm like, you got a long way to go for that.
Yeah.
You haven't earned that right yet.
No, and that's not cool. Like, okay, if you're young and you're around the house and maybe you let one slide, and if your parents are cool with it, or you're with your friends, or something like that, whatever. But like, as
he intentionally said it. It's not like it didn't slip. Like, he intentionally verbalized that word in his sentence twice.
Yeah, and you got your kids there, and you're like, hey, right. So it didn't come too much from Dad.
No, I probably got it from my brother, if anything.
Okay, but at a certain point in time, what did it become kind of okay around the household, like when you were maybe still in high school and stuff like that? Or was there there was no steadfast rule. It wasn't like if you said it, you got in trouble and you were grounded, or if it slipped out, there really was no rule. It was just there. If you said it, you said it. Right.
There was no, okay, you hit this age, you can say whatever you want to say. It wasn't a written thing. It was kind of just, it was just
natural
into it. Yeah, natural into it.
Now, how about alcohol?
Oh, man.
Around the house. Were you able to drink as kid? Like, how
stories about alcohol always went back to my old man.
Right.
And, Dad was... He was a vodka drinker. Well, he drank everything, right? He loved his scotch. But times of me trying his drinks go back probably to before I was double digits, where it'd be like, I'd grab his cup and take a sip of something or whatever. But then as you get older and like, hey, you want to try it? I've said it to Jake. Michelle yells at me.
Right.
You can't let him try that. I'll be drinking a little scotch on the couch while we're watching TV. I'm like, hey, you want a sip? And he won't. He doesn't ever want to try it.
Right.
But, I used to try it. Dad was like, here, take a sip. I'm like, I don't understand how you drink that. It's like, it's going down my throat and it feels like razor blades. And I'm drinking gasoline filled with razor blades. And I don't know how you drink that stuff. But he always had his flask of vodka that he carried around in his little bag, right? It didn't matter if we were traveling somewhere. It didn't matter if it was to my grandmother's house or to the store. He always had it with him. But we'd go fishing, and he used to fill up these big green cups, right? And we'd be out crabbing or fishing, and we'd be on the boat, and he'd have his cup there, and he always filled it up. Like the way I mix a drink, I put in the alcohol first. If I'm drinking, let's just say a vodka tonic, right? Vodka goes in first, tonic, lime, lemon, whatever.
Right.
Dad was always, whatever the mixer was, if the cup's this big, the mixer was this much, and the vodka filled the cup, right? But he never stirred it. So we're out one day, and I guess he hadn't, he had his drink out there, and for whatever reason, I just thought, and I was probably 11, 12 years old, and it was hot and whatever, and I didn't want to jump to the back of the boat and get, a soda or a water or something. So I just grabbed his cup and chugged. Just right off the bat, not thinking about it or anything.
Right.
And it was just straight vodka. And he's like, all right. Yeah, he gave me the, serves you right for touching my cup.
Right.
That's the story I got.
That's funny. I don't know if I said this the last time we talked, but I remember my mom's mom used to come visit when we were kids. And I just remember one night laying in bed and I had a cough. So I kept waking up in the middle of the night, like coughing. And normally my mom would come in and like, if there was something wrong, it was my mom that came in. But in this one night, it was her mom that came in, right? And we had these like, remember Tupperware?
Sure.
We had these like Tupperware cups. They were like tall, skinny plastic cups.
I think we had them.
And she had one filled with, it was like ice and 7-Up and bourbon. I mean, I had to be 8, 9, 10 tops, coughing. And she came in, she's just like, here, drink. I swear to God, total old school Irish, just drink this, right? Like, and drink it all.
Wow.
I did, and I just remember going like, oh, what was that? She's like, don't worry about it. Now go to sleep.
You probably did.
I did. And it's so funny, like the nature, because we've talked about this. Like, listen, obviously, you and I enjoyed we've had plenty of drinks together. We enjoy it. It's nice. But we also kind of both are like, we go through this, regular thing where at least I am, and you are too to some degree. It's just like, it's nice to drink, but also at the same time, like, it's not that great.
Yeah, it's not. Sometimes I just get to the point where it's like, you know what? It's not doing anything for me right now.
Right.
Like my liquor cabinet in my house is non-existent anymore. The only thing I have in my liquor cabinet is a bottle of this Grand Marnier, because when I tried it that one time with my buddy Peter, I'm like, I got to get some of this. And I got 2 bottles. I got 1 bottle for here and I got 1 bottle for home. That is the only thing I have right now at the house, outside of some bottles of wine and some beers, which are always in my fridge, and I always have bottles of wine.
Right. We don't have anything. We have a little Samagon, and we have that mezcal.
Which you might as well dump in your car and drive your way here.
Hey, listen, careful. If you might listen to this, baby, we need to try that together. She hasn't tried it yet.
She didn't like it.
I don't think she's tried it yet. She hasn't tried it yet. So
she's going to have the same impression as us when she tries it.
She might, but it was, I know it was a loving and thoughtful gift, my dear, but we'll have to try it together so you can see what Brad's talking about. I didn't mean to get him in trouble. No, it's okay. It's all good. But yeah, like the alcohol thing, like it's nice, but I do find, that it's like you go through waves with it, and sometimes it just becomes something that's sort of like unproductive in your life, and that's kind of where we're having a drink right now because of this, right? But outside of that, nah,
I'm with you.
I'm good. So all right, so now let's go back to the big
tough
question. Let's go to the tough question. So you're 50, I'm 50. How do you feel about being 50? Question number 1. And number 2, is it what you expected, or is it different? Like, how does is life sort of what you imagined it would be like at this time in your life?
Yeah. I mean, at this point in my life, but yes, is the question. Is it what did I anticipate at 50 being married and having kids that are, creeping into the teenage years? Sure. Yeah. How did I feel turning 50? And it's funny because I used to, before I got in this business, I worked for my cousin Dwight. Mm-hmm. And, I practically lived with them out of college and was a stockbroker for 2 years and worked with him. But Dwight, you're 56, I want to say, right? But he always used to tell me, and this was before I hit 30. And he's like, wait till you hit 30. Or no, it was like 33, 34. He's like, wait till you hit 33, 34. And you can't do the kind of things you do now, which was, playing softball and going out and playing indoor soccer or whatever it was. Just being like super. He's just got to the point where, and Dwight's a very fit guy. And he's like, you start pulling things here and there and pulling things here and there. And he it took me a little longer to get to that point.
Right.
But He warned me about that at 33, 34 years old. At 50, when I think of 50, I think back to when my parents or grandparents were 50, and it just seemed so much older back then.
Right?
Like, you're like, okay, 10 years I'm going to be 60. Like, that's absurd.
Right.
Like 60 years old. Think of, maybe it's not so much. Maybe you didn't think so much of 50 back in the day when we were kids. But at 60, you were an old man.
Oh, yeah.
Back in the day.
Even back in the day, 40 was like, I mean, like...
Was it? See, I didn't think of that.
I don't know. I didn't know that I thought of it, but I just remember when I was 12, 13 or whatever, and my parents would have been in their 40s. Like, they were adults. Like, people in their 40s, they had houses, they had families, they had kids, you know, like, they were legitimate adults. And I'm like, all right, we've blown through our 40s. We're now 50, right? And I don't feel like an old man, you know. We're not old men. I don't feel like I look or like we live, look, or act like that generation. You getting toasty?
Oh my god, you guys!
Well, the air conditioning makes a lot of noise, so you're gonna. We all know you run hot, Brad.
I feel like I didn't get this hot last time.
Yeah, well, you know,
turn the air back on.
No, but seriously, dude. I mean. You don't look 50 to me, right?
Thank you.
You don't act 50 to me, you know. You're still working out. We still get out and ride the bike. I mean, I don't feel like, you know, like a generation ago, our parents, when they were 50, it was like, oh, yeah, 50 is like old.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, that's not the case now.
But we are, without a doubt, in the second half of the game.
Yeah, well, that's just life.
Right? And I think about it, I'm like, okay, well, I want another 50 years. Like, I want to hit, as long as I'm healthy, I want to hit 100. I really do. Now, so I look at it, I'm like, we just went through the halftime of my life, right? Just went into the locker room, assessed the first half. Okay, a lot going well. Couple areas, you know, we could switch up the game plan a little bit to perform better in the second half, you know, to win the game. But, you know, there's no guarantee that you're going to get through the third quarter or into the fourth quarter or through the fourth quarter at this point in time, right? That's the way I look at it, you know? I mean, you just don't know at this point in time. That's why it's so important to enjoy. You know, you hear me talking about this all, you know, and we talked this morning. I'm like, oof, I'm a little pooped right now. But at the end of the day, it's these moments. Cheers, my friend.
Cheers.
Yep. It's
to the recharge.
Yeah, it's a long reach. You know, to the big 5-0. Now, do you think your kids think you're like old, like we thought our parents were old?
I'm gonna say no.
Right.
You know, and the reason I'll say that is because, you know, like I just said a little bit ago, Jake's got a tennis clinic on, and Sam's going to appreciate this because, and I told him this the other day, like I told him, I'm playing a lot more tennis now. I said, so when you're coming down to Naples, bring your stuff. I will drive to Naples and I'll come hang out with you and we'll go to dinner or whatever the case may be. And he's coming down for either Thanksgiving or I think it's at Christmas time he's coming down. So, you know, so I go to Jake's tennis clinic every Monday and Wednesday, and I'll do one of three things when I'm there, right? So all the other parents are there and they're watching. I go and I will either play with another guy who's the father of one of the girls that plays in Jake's tennis clinic, and me and him will play, and it's an hour and a half. So we'll hit for an hour and a half, or we'll play for an hour and a half. Or two, Coach Frankie will let me jump in with the kids. Now, I've expressed this to you, not to everybody listening or watching. My son is the youngest one there. He's 12.
Right.
13, 14, 15. Maybe there's no 16-year-olds. I think 15 is the tops in this clinic. These kids are like, can play on the tour right now, if you ask me. Like, they're dynamite. So it's not like I'm out there whooping ass on, 12, 13-year-old kids. They're running me like they have me on a string.
Right.
So that's option 2 of when I'm there. If the coach can't fit me in or that guy's not there to play with, I'll just go on the other court and I'll serve for an hour or hit balls for an hour or work on a shot for an hour. So, Jake said something to me to answer your question now. He's like, I'm so glad you come to these clinics. He's like, I love that you can. He loves when I play in with them. And, he sees that. He sees the fact that I always want to, play football with him, and we're always going to play tennis on Sundays now. We're out throwing the ball. We're out, he's working out now with me every now and again, on our bike, whatever. So he doesn't have that impression. It's not like I didn't do those things with my old man, because my old man was, but he was always, right, he was a different figure when it came to sports when I was a kid. He was the coach.
Right.
Right. So the coach gave that older aura, right? He was the experienced, weathered coach.
Right.
But he wasn't, my dad's fucking hair was perfect on the field and no one touched it, and he was this good-looking big Italian guy out there, right? He didn't look like an old man, but he was coach, so he had to be older. Right. So that was that impression. I don't coach Jake in anything, so I don't have that relationship with him. It's just me and him doing these things together. Right. And I did all those things together with my dad, but in a different perspective.
Right.
So he was older to me, and Jake likes when we do these things together. So to answer the question for him, hopefully the answer is no. I don't think he looks at me and goes, Dad's 50 and he's old.
I wonder what my kids are going to think. I mean, Sabrina will be 4 at the end of December. Nicholas is a year and a half. I'm 50, right? So 25 years. Well, let's say, okay, no, let's just go into high school. Let's say Sabrina's 17. So let's call it 13 years from now, I'm 63.
And you'll look just like you do now.
I hope so.
You will.
Yeah. Let's keep working on that. We'll keep our rides going and everything. But I hope so. But I do notice that, it takes a lot of energy, particularly young kids. I have found, of course, this summer when my wife and family were in Russia, it was quiet times around the Herman household, right? Like I had the place to myself. Everything was clean, neat, and organized, so it didn't require much upkeep. And our place is clean, neat, and organized now. But when you have 2 little kids, they're tearing shit apart all the time. So you're constantly picking up, and Nicholas is now at the stage where he's feeding himself. So when we eat, it's just like every meal is a disaster, right? So there's just like an excessive amount of just cleanup, follow-up, pickup that happens. So during the summer, I was very relaxed. I was at peace. I had time. And now, that we're rolling as the family unit, it's going great. But I gotta tell you, sometimes I'm fucking tired. I'm like, thank God I'm in relatively decent shape.
Sure.
Right? Thank God, because you're getting up early. Somebody's doing this, somebody's doing that. You're making breakfast. You're getting this one closed. Or this one's getting in the shower. It's basically like a 16-hour operation.
Well, I'm sure you're not forgetting it, but in this part of the story you're telling, you're forgetting about the 2-week period of time where you flew solo with the kids while Irviana was away.
Man, yeah.
You learned a lot then.
I did. That gave me such an appreciation for my wife and what she goes through on a day-to-day basis and what she does. And she continually ups her game. It's really nice to see. I'm really proud of her. She every day she's upping it. But it's gotten to the point where I used to think man, I got this shit. I'm organized and I got everything under control. And I will tell you,
your kids don't care what kind of control you have,
right?
And I'm not saying your kids. I'm saying any kids.
But now in the morning, when we're getting ready, and one of us is, because we have a schedule, one morning's her morning to work out, one's mine, and we take turns on who's getting the kids ready. We take turns on who's driving the kids to school or picking them up, blah 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 blah. And I used to think man, I am bulletproof on this stuff. I will tell you. I think I have told you. On the mornings, it's my morning to be getting shit together, man. I'm like a crazy person. I'm like, that's fucking 7:02. It's 7:19. Get in the shower, and I'm not relaxed. I'm fucking stressed, and I'm getting everything done, but it is not enjoyable for anybody, I'm sure, right? And
but it's getting better,
right? But on the mornings my wife's doing it, I'll look at the clock, and in my mind, I'm running the schedule just like it's mine, even though it's not mine that day. She's just breezing.
And it all gets done.
And it all gets done in exactly the same amount of time, but with 10 times less the aggravation than when I'm doing it. And I'm like,
I'm doing something wrong here.
I got it all wrong. But at the same time, I'm really glad. I'm like, oh, good. I don't want to be the best at this.
I used to tell Michelle all the time, I can never do what you do when we had 2 little ones like you do. And Michelle, it took a while, and it's funny, she'll tell you this. It took a while for Michelle to leave the house for an extended period of time when we had 2 little ones.
Right.
Now, whether that was her fear for me and how I would react in this situation, or just she just didn't trust me at all to keep our kids safe while she was gone. But she would know. Michelle remembers everything. Like, she's unbelievable when it comes to that. She remembers everything. I couldn't tell you when it was. She could probably tell you how old the kids were the first time I think the first time she went somewhere was to California to visit her brother, Brian. And she went out there for something. I don't remember what. It might have been the birth of his daughter. But that was the first time she left the kids. And I think she was probably petrified to leave the kids with me alone. It was just, I was so far. The distance between how good she was at it and how good I was at it was miles apart.
Oh, it's so funny because, Irviana is the opposite in that sense, where she was like, when it was that 2-week period of time, I doubt she even for a second was worried about.
That's it. She was on a plane. Goodbye.
She was like, she was gone.
They'll be fine.
They'll be fine. But I just remember, the first few days, I'm like trying to crank everything to perfection. The time, the schedule. This is prepared.
I remember we used to talk about it every day.
Yeah, like 2-3 days, I was like killing it, and then it started to catch me.
Then the kids kicked in.
Started to run me down, and I started like, oh man, fuck, this is like it's like a 16-hour shift.
Yeah,
and it just so I'm glad that at 50 with young kids, or at 50 with approaching teenage kids, that we're in solidly decent shape and have the energy to be able to to do it right. I mean, could you imagine if you were like in bad shape and bad health, and you just like your kids want to play or do stuff and you couldn't because you weren't feeling well, or that's a crime. I'm sorry, like as a parent, you have a responsibility to like keep your shit together so that you can be a part of those experiences.
And I tell Jake that he asked me, he's like, hey, Daddy, you work out 3 days a week, and you're on your bike Saturday mornings, and now you're doing tennis. It's like that's a lot. He's like, I said I do this for you guys. I said I do this so I can do this stuff with you and have fun with you and Victoria and Mommy, and we can go do things. And I'm not. I don't want to be the lazy guy. I've never been the lazy guy, right? I always have to be doing something. And I said, I want to be in good shape for you guys.
Mm-hmm.
I want to. This is what I want to do. So I'm glad he appreciates it,
right?
And he does, and he shows me the appreciation by, he asked me the other day, a couple of my friends, they're working out now, and he wants me to teach them how to work out. So we are fortunate enough, we converted one of our rooms in our house to a gym. I haven't had to skip a beat with COVID as far as gyms are closed or not going to the gym at our clubhouse at the development and everything. We have a gym that has everything I need in our house. So he wants me to can you start teaching me how to work out?
Yeah.
So he likes doing that. He wants to start doing that. Even Victoria, when I'm in there working out, she'll come in and she'll jump on the spin bike. I've got a spin bike in there, and I've got my Wahoo Kicker trainer in there, and she'll jump on the spin bike. So it's just an old spin bike, but it's a spin bike, and she loves to jump on it and just, she'll go in there and she'll do 45 minutes on the spin bike while I'm working out. And it's like, it doesn't get any better than that. Like, I literally took a picture or a video of me on my trainer with Jake or Victoria in the background and sent it to Seth one day. It was a little clip. And I'm like, it was like on a Saturday or on a Sunday. I was like, does it get any better than this? She's over there spinning on the spin bike, and I'm over there on my trainer. It's just that's what we live for right now.
It's interesting, when you mention Seth. We've got friends, people our age, peers, kids going off to college. They're making that adjustment.
Both of them, Sam and Seth.
Yeah, and I look, of course, on Facebook. Plenty of my friends from kids that I grew up with in high school. Their kids are going off to college, and it's just like, man, when you're a kid and your parents tell you like, enjoy it, it goes fast, right? You don't think of it, you're every day seems to last forever. You're either.
And now it's
every
day is like
they
this.
fly by. Here it is. It's Wednesday. It's 10 to 5. This day's blown by. Like all blow by. I mean, I feel like I hit the bed every night, you know, at my 8 p.m.
8 o'clock time.
8 o'clock time. I get in the sheets, man. I feel like a roller coaster that's just coming in from tearing like 72 loops, like, you know, like I get into bed and I'm like, man, you know, and I look at your Vienna and we're just like, whew, you know, and you got to make sure you reground yourself and stuff. But it does. It just like it freaking blows by. Days blow by, and it's constant effort and activity.
Well, Michelle hit me with that the other day. She's like, well, Jake's. So, oh, look, she just told me, she heard me talking about her. She's calling. Jake or Michelle.
We can patch her in via Bluetooth.
Nice.
We'll do that soon sometime. We'll do some phone calls.
They're on their way back from the dentist, from Victoria's dentist appointment. So she hits me with the other day, you know, Jake's only going to be in the house for another, and I think I told you this, another, whatever it is, 3, 4, 5 years, whatever it is. I'm like, I don't want to hear that. And it's funny. I'll say I don't want to hear that. I just got through having conversations with Sam about him taking his daughter to college in New York, if I'm not mistaken. I apologize, Sam, if I get that wrong. And Seth, who just took Aiden to Indiana, University of Indiana. Mm-hmm. Which, by the way, he's been going almost every Saturday. I feel like, you know.
I see all the pictures on Facebook, man. He's out there. He's at all the tailgate parties.
At all the games.
Yeah, got his sweatshirt on, representing. I see it.
And Michelle hits me with that. I'm like, I don't want to talk about that. Like, that's insane to me. That 5 years? No. Mm-hmm. But yeah, 5 years.
You know, there's a lot of people that we know that are at that stage right now. Kids going off to college, kids off to college, kids back from college already, you know, and it's just, you know, it's this crazy cycle of life, you know. I mean, so much happens. It happens so quickly. You know, we're all trying to, you know, be the best that we can be and get up and come to work and do a great job and work through good times, work through bad times. You know, at the end of the day, you're doing it, you know, hopefully because you enjoy it and you like it and you're getting some personal satisfaction of it. But, you know, you're doing it because now you have a family and you've got a responsibility. And, you know, that's something, you know, for me came a little bit later, and one that I thoroughly enjoy, you know, having been able to be in the position to drive my daughter to school, you know, to take her to preschool, you know, and hold her hand as we walk through the parking garage and get in the car and walk her up to the front door, you know, and every day.
Nothing better.
It's you know, and there's some mornings when it's like, you know, you're just like, oh, come on, let's go. You know, she's not walking fast enough, or she wants to look at every car in the garage or whatever, you know, and you're like, let's go. And in my mind, I'm like, dude, fucking like.
Enjoy the moment.
Slow down. You know, and then get her to the front door. Does she turn around, give me a kiss, goodbye? Nope. Like, we get to school, she's inside. And then she comes out at the end of the day. You know, she's been there all day. And, you know, we have a ride home, and she likes to point out the things along the way. And it's like stuff like that, man. It's just priceless. You can't replicate that, you know. And we're enjoying different versions of that at different stages of life. But it's
right. And I shared this in our Monday meeting, right? Jake's 12, Victoria's 10. Victoria's going to be 11, November 5th. She wants Daddy to prepare an entire sushi feast for her, so I'll be doing that on the 5th. But what I shared was, I'm at that point now, right? And you'll get there, because, you know, the kids at your kids' age are, you know, they're babies, and then they're whatever the stages are, toddlers, and then they're little, right? They're still little, right? They do the same things every day. Mm-hmm. I'm now getting to the point where my kids are starting to experience new things, which is amazing. Like this past Saturday, Jake got invited to a birthday party, one of his little friends, and it was a paintball. It was at a paintball place. Mm-hmm. And look, the times are different now, right? When I was a kid, I grew up with a gun in my hand. I had a BB gun in my hand all the time. We went out and we shot bottles, and we shot this. We used to bring them crabbing. We always had, you know, there was always in our life, right? Regardless of what we were doing. You know, we used to go out and we used to hunt with my old man. So we weren't weren't strangers to guns. My kids never held a gun, a water gun, right? That's the extent of what he's probably held in his hand. This is a legit paintball place. This isn't like, oh, these paintball guns are for the little kids and these are ones for the people who are a little older. No, they're all the same. And it's a heavy gun. And he went out there for 2 hours, shot the place up in this cool-ass place in Lake Worth, like open fields, like the size of football fields, right? And there's old cars that are out there that you hide behind, and giant tractor tires, and giant half pipe, drainage ditch pipes that they cut in half and they stand up and you hide behind, right? And he's out there shooting the place up. It was just unbelievable to see. It's a new experience for him. And when it came down to it and we were leaving and everything, I was like, hey, what'd you think? And he loved it, right? Brand new experience, never done it before, can't wait to do it again. And so much so that I brought a change of clothes for him because I didn't want him getting in my damn truck all filled with fucking paint and everything. Right. You're changing. He's like, so we're getting in the car. He's like, do I have to change? I'm like, I'd like you to. I'm like, why wouldn't you want to change? Like, you've been sweating your ass off, number one. You're filled with paint, number two. He's like, I want Mommy and Victoria to see all the shots that I took. I'm like, you're not supposed to be proud of those shots. You're not supposed to get hit. He goes, oh, but I want them to see. So I'm like, all right. So we go home and he wanted to take pictures of all of, front, back, side, and everything, right? So then it comes to, okay, let's go upstairs, we're showering, right? And he takes his shirt off, and he's got a giant welt, right, on his side. And then we start discovering that's not the only one.
Right.
He had a bigger one that must have hit him, like, right in the hip bone, right? It was underneath his shorts, so he couldn't see it when he took his shirt off. When he took his shorts off, though, and they for the next 2 days, like Sunday, that was Saturday. So Sunday, Monday, like they got worse. They got more black and blue. They got that yellowish color to them, but then they got redder. And I'm talking, they were this big. And he's not afraid. He wasn't afraid to take shots. He was getting out there. Like, he was a little hesitant when he first started it, right? But then he got out there, so he wasn't afraid to take a hit. But I don't think he knew that was coming, because I can't even touch him like that. It's like, he's jumping because it hurts.
But he's proud of it.
Oh yeah, those are battle wounds.
What do they say?
Now.
Glory lasts forever and chicks dig scars.
Yeah, he's got the battle wounds now. But yeah, new things. I'm at the point where the kids will start experiencing new things, and like that's really cool to me.
That's awesome. I'm thinking back to when our first episode, when we talked about. We talked about, one of the things that we talked about was the previous generation's commitment, to getting together as family on Sundays, and your family was very much a part of that. My family not so much, and we kind of both were like, oh, yeah, why are we not carrying on that tradition? And I think it's pretty safe to say that we haven't done anything about it.
Since the first episode?
Yeah. In terms of is trying to better establish some sort of routine, regular family get together. Is that safe to say, or no? And maybe, are you doing a better job of it?
No, it's safe to say. And to me, it's safe to say for one reason. Look, we've been, during this whole COVID thing, we're obviously turned the world upside down, right? It's without question. But for us, it's been a little bit different, right? And I'm sure there's plenty of families experiencing the same thing we're experiencing. But both of my kids have asthma. Mm-hmm. So we've been extra cautious. We've literally, even to this day, have eaten in one restaurant, right? And that was for my anniversary.
Yep.
At Capitol Grill. Thank you, Seth. And that's the only restaurant we've eaten at. And it took us a while to order food out from anywhere. So with, my brother's family has been a little more lenient with it. Even my mom's been a little more lenient with it. Right. So, their kids went back to school a lot sooner than our kids did. And, my mom is out and about doing her thing. And, my sister-in-law works in a hospital. So it's just having that group get together hasn't really been a priority, and it won't be until Victoria gets vaccinated. Jake's vaccinated.
He is. Okay.
He's vaccinated. He's back in school.
Yeah, that's right. I knew he was in school. I didn't know he was fully vaxxed. Okay.
He is fully vaccinated.
Okay.
And Victoria supposedly is going to be eligible in the first week of November to get her first shot. Mm-hmm. So she'll start getting vaccinated, and then, and then I'll start working on that, right? But Michelle's apparently jumped the gun on me and is getting ahead of it herself because she hit me with she wants to have a big family Thanksgiving this year at our house with everybody. My mom, my brother, his whole family, her dad, her two brothers, their whole family. Like, we're talking about a big get together. So, if that happens, it happens. If it doesn't, it doesn't. But apparently she's getting a step ahead on that.
Good. I mean, not good in the sense of like, anything else than I'm glad to hear that you guys or that she's taking steps to get your family together to spend time. I think, I think about like some of these situations where people had loved ones who passed away and they couldn't be there, whether they were in the hospital or something. I mean, we were talking about this earlier today. There's, I feel like a COVID fatigue to some degree at this point in time. I didn't feel it weeks ago, but for whatever reason, now I'm sort of feeling a little bit like, it's just still an everyday thing, and it's not going anywhere anytime soon. So you got to just keep adjusting mentally. But the whole component of getting the family, I think I told you, we're going up to New York State to at the beginning of November to be with my mom and Buck and Becky and Lennon and the kids, and we're all going. So we're all going to be there, and we're going to and originally it was proposed like, let's get together for like a 3-day weekend, and I was like, Becky and the kids are flying in from, and I think we all agreed on this, and I don't want to make it like it was my idea, but I know I said, listen, we're all traveling in from a long way. Let's make this a 5 or 6 day deal, right? So number one, it makes it worthwhile to travel halfway across the country. But two, like these sort of high pressure, it's all got to be amazing and great in 2 days and then everybody leaves family events. I always find those to be not great. No. Because
they never will be.
You get 10, 15 people together. It takes a little while for everybody to settle in, and if there's this pressure of like, it all has to happen in 2.5 days, nobody's ever relaxed, right? And so I'm really excited. I'm sort of nervous and excited at the same time to see, like, this will be the first time all of us get together for 5 or 6 days.
Okay, well.
And I said, no schedules. Mom, you can't cook Thanksgiving dinner because my mom's crazy about her kitchen. Don't use the metal spoon and the Teflon pans. Anyway, what were you going to say?
I was going to say, you need to remember your conversation with JJ a couple of days ago.
I don't remember it.
Hey, it was the last podcast.
I know it was the last podcast we did.
The conversation was, he said, when next time you go on vacation, what did he say? Don't bring your watch.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay, don't be, and I'll tell you what, that was one of the hardest things that hit me when I watched that episode with him. Which his episodes are always awesome, right? But he said, don't bring your watch on vacation, because who the hell wants, you could be sitting on a beach somewhere, right? And you're with whoever you're with, your family, your wife, you're by yourself, so you're with the whole family.
Right.
And you're sitting on the beach and you're just having a great time and you're just enjoying yourself, you're relaxed. And then you look at your watch and you go, wait a minute. We've got 5:30 reservations. We got to go.
I forgot about that. You're right. And that sucks.
It sucks.
Right?
And I didn't realize that sucks until he said it on that podcast. I'm like, damn, JJ's right. That sucks.
Right. And how many times did you in your mind, did you remember those scenarios where you're like, hurry up, we got to get back to the room. We got to go. We got to do this. We got to do that. And it's like, no,
this is vacation. So leave that watch at home.
Oh my God, my Garmin, it measures my heart rate, my resting sleeping rate. What am I
you don't need that. You'll be on vacation. Your resting heart rate should stay somewhere around 52.
I'll be in recovery after this freaking triathlon that I'm going to stumble and bumble my way through. God willing.
True.
Oh man, it's going to be a shit show.
Oh God.
If I run 2 out of the 6 miles, I'll call that a success.
I think you'll run more than that. I'm pretty confident you'll be running more than that.
I don't know. I mean, buddy, I'm hardly doing anything right now. But you know what? I'm going for the experience. But let's stay on family get-togethers. You know, I'm looking forward to it because, you know, the longer period of time, it's just, there's a lot of stress. I feel a lot of anxiety. Like, I even told my wife, I'm like, I'm feeling a little anxiety about the trip.
Is that because you're remembering the last one?
And I'm like, yeah. And I'm like, you know, I mean, it's a lot of, you know, we got a lot of dynamics. We got Fox News and CNN coming together.
Oh boy.
Okay. We've got young kids, old people, you know, different expectations. You know, my mom's crazy meticulousness about don't make a mess. You know, Buck's non-meticulousness about who gives a shit. You know, like, there's a lot of dynamics, right? You know, you got the Russian language, you got the English, all kinds of, and I'm extremely sensitive to these types of like dynamics, right? You know, so yeah, I'm a little bit, you know, my mom will watch this, so great. Okay, it's, you know, yes. It's going to be an interesting
Donna
experience.
didn't listen to me because Donna's got her own little fun time coming up
she's
with
doing
the
whole
family.
thing.
Oh, yeah.
You know, so I'm looking forward to it, but I'm also like, you know, I want it to be a nice, relaxing time for everybody. Like, yeah, don't look at the watch. Let's not be on a schedule. You know, like, if you guys want to, like, go do this,
go do it.
Not everybody has to like rally together, because we tried that in Disney and that was like, it was rough.
Hell, I'm worried about Thanksgiving at my house.
So
and that's one day.
Right?
That's not even a day. It's a half a day.
But are you going to have to do all the cooking?
You know, with the volume of people that will be there, like, we're talking multiple turkeys. We're not talking about one turkey. Like, there ain't a turkey big enough in the fucking world that's going to feed the people that are going to be at this,
right?
You know, this day. If my wife puts it all together, like, what would probably happen, I would ask of my brother for him to cook a turkey as well. So I'll cook one at the house. You know, there's just something about having that cookie and you know, maybe this is to your mother's point. There's just something about, because it was my dad's point. There's just something about having that that turkey cooking in the house, and the smell of that turkey cooking in the house.
Right.
That just has to be there every Thanksgiving. So I will want to cook one at the house.
Of course.
But I would have to ask my brother to cook another one, because we would need 2.
Right.
So there's that.
You know what you do? You do an oven and you do a deep fried. The deep fried only takes 2 to 3 hours. Have you ever had one?
Yes, my dad did one year.
Okay.
But I don't have a deep fryer, and I'll fuck something up.
Well, let me tell you something.
My brother could
It's
do
a
it.
fire hazard. You better stand there with a hose going, because that's what we did. Like, we stood there with a hose because the oil's dripping over the side.
I think my brother's done it, but we'll stick conventional to the oven.
Okay.
You know, so that would be that dynamic with the turkey. You know, we'll do a stuffing at the house. Michelle, you know, I'll put a stuffing together, and Michelle would probably do the other sides. You know, work on other sides, and then like Mom will bring a side. You know, my sister-in-law Maritza will have sides that she brings. So everything will be covered,
right?
Not just not just from our house. It'll piece together from everybody. But turkey-wise, main turkey, it's going to have to be 2.
Okay, so now let's talk about the lead up to Thanksgiving dinner, okay? Because I feel like there's Thanksgiving dinner is there's 3 components to Thanksgiving dinner.
Okay.
There's the lead up, there's the actual meal, then there's the after meal, right?
Okay.
Now, I find that the lead up can be a little stressful.
The lead up's 100% stressful. You're talking about the day of still.
Yeah.
Okay. The lead up's 100% stressful.
Right?
Is the turkey done?
Yeah. I mean, it's like,
there's not enough room in the oven.
Do we start it in 5 minutes? You know, like there's the whole timing of getting everything off. Like, it's stressful, right? Then there's the meal, which
lasts 15 minutes.
I mean, everybody's just like freaking, like, it's like, you know, it goes so quick. Then there's the after meal, which, depending on how the lead up and the meal went, the after meal can either be like nice and relaxing, everybody's having a good time, Or the after meal can be the time when people start talking about crazy shit, and all of a sudden you're like, oh God, why did we invite these people?
Mine's broken out differently. Right?
Okay.
So go finish your third phase of after meal.
So the after meal is...
First and second phase, same. My third phase is different.
Okay, so what's your third phase?
Well, finish your third phase.
Well, I don't even know. I feel like I just touched on it, but like typically the after meal is should be good, but like there is that sense of like, my God, it was like 4 days of preparation. The meal's over in like 15 minutes, and now you got this fucking mess to clean up.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Where's the help?
Well, that's where my phase 3 changed.
Okay.
My phase 1, pre-meal, right?
Right.
Phase 2, meal.
Uh-huh.
Sam, you're 100% going to appreciate this. Phase 3, it's fucking Cowboy game time. Every Thanksgiving, the Cowboys are on at 4:30. Don't fuck with me. Don't talk to me. I ain't cleaning shit. I'm sitting my ass on the couch, and I'm watching my Cowboy game with my son in tow.
Yeah.
And that's how phase 3 goes for me. Now...
But is cleanup just postponed?
No, I don't have to lead up cleanup. Lead up cleanup? No. Cleanup is led up by my mother,
right?
Who always 100% always dives into cleanup first, and Michelle and and Maritza will jump in,
right?
But like Victoria, she jumps in there, and you know my brother-in-laws, who neither one of them are sports fans, they'll jump in. So everybody but me and Jake and my old man when he was still with us,
right,
would be helping out. My brother, he'll be on the couch with us too.
You know,
but that is my phase 3.
I'm sorry, I'm gonna probably get shit for this, but like I'm down with that type of traditional.
You gotta start liking football,
right? I don't dislike football. Like I don't. You know, I don't really watch football. It's not that I don't dislike football. I actually, when I can sit down and watch a game, I totally enjoy it. And it's like golf. Why don't I do this more? And then 2 years pass by and I haven't played golf again.
Well,
we got
to go to Michigan and play a round of golf with Dennis and Gary.
You are.
I'm dropping everybody in there today.
You are
I'm shifting gears,
right?
Plugging everybody. But yeah, Sam will definitely appreciate, as will Seth, of course, being the sports fanatic he is,
right,
will appreciate my phase 3 because, again, the Cowboys' tradition is the middle game. Well, now it's the middle game. There used to be only 2 games on Thanksgiving. Now there's 3.
It was always Detroit and the Cowboys.
Detroit and Cowboys. And
now there's a third team in there?
Yeah, now it's a mix.
What, the Washington football team? What are they fucking called? The Washington football team. Jesus God.
But yeah, that is my phase 3. I'm not cleaning up anything. You know, I'm gonna clean up everything I can prior to the game starting.
Listen,
but I will be sitting on that couch come kickoff.
I am a big believer. Okay, big believer. Clean as you cook.
100%.
You gotta be cooking and cleaning. Cooking. I know we're right. Don't you wish?
Dry.
Yeah, dry as a bone.
Or is he even listening? Is he? Greg, are you listening out there? Feeling kind of parched in here, Greg.
No, hold on. We could take a timeout now. Okay, but we're on a time limit today, which kind of stinks.
I know.
You know,
we'll push through. But yeah, that's my phase 3.
Yeah. This drink thing just threw me off. See, we're not drinking much, and now it's like we start drinking. It's like, where's
the booze? Is he coming with a bottle?
Yeah, Greg, help us out here. Yeah, he is. And bring something for you. Oh, I already offered it to him, but he's got another gig he's got to go to. Greg, our producer and director of photography, he's a man about town. He's recording and filming stuff. He might be doing a rap video next. Seriously. Okay.
You're a good man, Greg. So.
All right, hold on. We're taking a quick time out.
Guest appearance.
Oh, look at that. Hey, all right. There's Mr. Handsome.
The cameras. The guy that's always behind the camera, say hi in front of the camera.
It's me.
All right.
Here we go.
Oh, there. You're going to get a little grandma.
I'll have a little grandma with you.
That's good.
Yeah. See, Brad's got to go play tennis.
Yeah, I got an hour and a half of tennis coming.
Greg's got to play tennis too, but Greg's not having any, and I've got band practice. I got to keep my wits about me too. Okay, so there we go. So, and to kind of get us back on track a little bit, Thanksgiving, cooking, cleaning, that's what we're talking about, cooking and cleaning.
Cleaning as you go, yeah.
You got to clean as you go. Like, I want as little mess when we sit down to eat as humanly possible. And if it means that I'm like, during a regular meal, I'm kind of like eating and clean, like...
That's what I do.
I'll do that too, because I'd rather do that, like clean a little bit, sit and have a bite, you know? And then when the meal's over, it's not a disaster. Like, that's just more relaxing to me than sitting there and knowing you have this like monster lurking back there that needs to be taken care of.
So funny story, okay? And I'll tell this story. I won't say names, but the person who I'm going to reference would never hear this anyway. But I sent you a picture the other day of a meal I made. I sent it to Seth as well, because, you know, we like to send food pictures to each other, but it was my linguine and clam sauce, right? I sent you the picture. It was phenomenal. I didn't get, and my old man made linguine and clam sauce all the time. Loved to make it. It was one of his favorite meals. But Michelle's cousin came down from New York, New Jersey. I forget where she's from.
The motherland.
And she came down. I was at work, and Michelle calls me, you know, such and such is making linguine and clam sauce tonight. Great, awesome. I will say to my father right now, I apologize, Dad, but her linguine and clam sauce killed your linguine. It was the most amazing dish of linguine and clam sauce I've ever had. So I stole her recipe from her, right, to make mine that I make now.
Okay.
But the part of the story that I'm referencing is when I got home, the kids and Michelle, everybody was already eating, right? So the meal was done, and I looked at my kitchen, and it looked like a fucking hurricane hit. There wasn't a spot on the counter that didn't have a spill, seasonings on it, a dish, a dirty paper towel. I mean, a disaster. Meal was unbelievable.
Right.
But it's like...
ruins the meal.
I feel like I need to start cleaning now. Like, I don't want to eat. I need to start cleaning now, because I'm not going to enjoy turning my back to the kitchen when that's behind me and enjoying this amazing meal. And it's just, I can't do it. Absolutely cannot do it. And that's not just Thanksgiving. Like, I cook that way. You know, Michelle is in the kitchen cooking for the kids, and they've eaten before I get home Monday through Friday, right? Saturday and Sunday is my day in the kitchen, and I just can't do it. It doesn't matter if it's breakfast, lunch, dinner. I have to be cleaning as I'm going. But to reference your Thanksgiving, right, I'm doing the same thing there.
Yeah.
Everybody's eating. I'm going to pretend like I'm going in the kitchen to fill my glass of water, but I'm going to clean 4 dishes and clean this spill and do this before I go back into the dining room and continue eating.
And it's also why when I cook, like the few times that I cook, like we made those steaks last week, for me, the meal is actually during preparation, in the sense that I'm having some wine, I've got some cheese and crackers. Like, I am satisfying my desire to eat something yummy and have a nice time while I'm preparing the food. Because I've gotten to the point also where it's like, okay, well, the food might go and there might not be that much left. Like, maybe I might not get that much, right? I have to be okay with that. So, like, the preparation process for me is also the enjoyment process. Because if you just go through prep and then you sit down and you have the meal or whatever, if there's that big disaster waiting for you, I don't enjoy...
the enjoyment's gone.
The enjoyment's gone. So I want to make sure that I'm enjoying it while I'm going. Now, sometimes that leads to me making poor decisions along the way, because I start enjoying myself too much. Like, we literally, one time, we had guests over to our house, and I was so excited. And I haven't made it here, so I will make it. But there's this fish dish that is prepared by a chef, and his name is Eric Ripé. He has a restaurant in New York City called Le Bernardin. He's like a 3-star Michelin chef. And I saw something on Instagram that he professed. It was a simple preparation. It was a big white fish. I don't remember if it was grouper or monkfish, but he sliced yellow zucchini, green zucchini, sliced tomato, mushroom, and andouille sausage. And so he took the fish, simple salt and pepper, salt, olive oil, and then beautiful thinly sliced layers of these vegetables and the andouille sausage on top, little bit of oil, and then herbe de Provence, and it goes in the oven. And it's freaking amazing, right? So we had guests coming over, and this is the second time I'm preparing this, and I was so excited. And I got fucking bombed while I was making I had an empty stomach, and I had some vodka, and then I'm drinking wine, and I'm having the time of my life. Literally, Brad, when we sat down for dinner, I was practically falling asleep. I don't remember dinner, and I went to bed at about 7:30 that night with guests at our house, like a total moron, because I got I enjoyed the process so much, I got carried away, which happens from time to time.
Well, we have a nice meal coming tomorrow.
Blackened swordfish.
Well, okay, my brother may frown upon that, but we're gonna give it a shot.
Let's give it a whirl.
Fresh swordfish that my brother's buddy brought in, and I have a Ziploc, not Ziploc, but a freezer, vacuum sealed freezer bag full of it in there. I think there's 3 nice steaks in there for us to make. Mm-hmm. So between the two of us, we will figure out how to make it nicely without using the grill.
Yeah, and at some point in time, I want to switch to the grill, which also means I think we need to get a cast iron pan here, because I want to be able to cook over the open fire, because the lack of ventilation in here, for me, it's a problem. I don't like that heavy smoke that comes particularly if you're cooking with oil and you just get that.
Although last time we cooked salmon, didn't the neighbor come over going, "Hey, what are you guys cooking in here?"
Well, we cooked the salmon first, and they wondered, and then when we did the steaks, they were upset. Right. They were like, "How come we haven't been invited for these steaks?" And I was like, "All right, so yeah, all right, so we'll do the fish tomorrow, but at some point in time, I think we need to get a cast iron pan, and we need to start working on the grill."
For the grill, okay.
Fair
enough.
Because I've made some delicious lamb chops on the grill in a cast iron pan at my mom's place.
Okay.
And
I'm in.
Okay. What time? Damn it. See, normally I would never look at my watch during a podcast knowing that we have to wrap it up, but it's 5:21. I don't know how you're going to go play tennis.
Hold on.
What do you mean, hold on?
Oh. I thought the text was going to say there's no tennis tonight, but tennis says, yes, we're good to go for tennis tonight.
Were you hoping for just half a second?
I was kind of for half a second. Don't tell Jake that.
I know, but even Greg has to leave. I'm stretched him 21 minutes past because he's got to go. What do you got? Are you doing food tonight, or is it hip-hop video? Oh, he's going to play. He's playing tennis, too. Both of you guys got to get out of here to play tennis. What the fuck is going on around here? Now, I will tell you this, though. When the day comes that you two are ready to play some tennis.
Fuck that.
No, but for the fun of it, we have to have
it's company everybody event. In this agency is going to go watch me get my ass kicked by Greg on the tennis court. Mind you, everybody out there listening, Greg is a semi-pro who was close to being on the tour. Yeah, I'm not going to have a audience for that.
Yeah, but I think Greg had a Red Fox moment the other day on the court. Where he went like this. He went, "Elizabeth,
I'm coming to join you.
Coming to join you." So
he did. He showed me the video.
Yeah, you guys might be paired up okay. All right. Well, fuck.
We didn't get a whole lot of business talk in here. I thought we were going to shift to business. We never even got there.
Well, we're an hour. We're an hour and 7 minutes in. No, we're an hour and 2 minutes in. No business. So we'll have to do episode 3.
Oh, we will.
Because every time we're about to do the podcast, you're a little bit like, what? I don't want to do the podcast, right? And then when we sit down. We're an hour and 2 minutes in.
Sam's got me doing a lot of stuff right now. I'm pressed for time.
I know.
I got a Nissan launch going up and a Bernardi for Seth. I got
to get
Sam
back
website
to Sam
stuff
too.
going
Sorry,
on.
Sam. We're getting there. Trust me, we're going to be all good.
And if Sam hears that I missed a tennis clinic, I'm a shot to get a little bit better. So I can.
You need to play tennis. You need to get out there, and I agree.
Yeah,
that was my Sam impersonation. How was it?
That was good. That
Pretty
was
decent.
Yeah, I told him. I said, "Look, when you're in Naples, I'm coming. Bring your stuff down. So we'll be playing. So I can't miss lessons. I can't miss clinics. I can't miss opportunities to play on Sunday with my kids.
There's no time. There's never any time. It's constant rush.
Hey, that's the world we live in.
That's right. It's like Junior on The Sopranos. It's me. It's Ajit all the time.
That's the way it goes.
All right, Brad. Well, we're going to cut this one short, which is fucking bullshit. Because we're just getting started.
I know.
We're just getting started.
I apologize to anybody listening that was hoping for some business talk.
Me too. Yeah, sorry.
Didn't quite get there.
Didn't happen. No car business talk.
I think that kind of happens when you and I start talking about family. I think we get a little carried away. So that's not a bad.
If we had 3 hours, we'd talk about the car business. So we'll have to do episode 3.
3 hours and some fucking air conditioning.
It's
nice and cozy and toasty over there. Are you in your little short sleeve shirt?
I'm sorry, man.
Nobody
told you to wear a sweater.
I almost wore a jacket today too. I completely forgot that we turned the AC off because it makes too much noise.
Right. All right. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. This has been another hopefully entertaining episode of On Deck.
For them.
Bunch of gibberish. Brad, happy
Cheers,
50th. 50th for 50.
I'm gonna reach for that.
I'm 50 for 50, and we'll pick this up again.
Absolutely.
Yeah, thank you, brother. Love
you, man.
All right, love
Thanks
you too.
for having me.
All right, you got it.